So here's one of our customer services that we just received, and it requires an internal wire swap, meaning that the right side speaker is not working. It's opposite of the audio jack. First thing you want to do is pry up the ear pads here. Use one of these pry tools and work your way around. Now we will be taking off this tape here, as we will be replacing it with another tape. It's kind of helpful to grab a flathead and pry it up. Use Phillips for these screws. Now for the speaker, the wire is kind of adhered to the housing, but again, just peel it off, and we use a soldering iron to solder these wire points. And right behind this black sticker here, there's a screw that's hiding. Just peel this back and once again use this pry tool to punch through these mesh points here. And an important point to kind of point out here is, as you guys can see, right here is where the pinch point is most of the time. It's either on the left side or the right side. This time it looks like the left side is the one that got pinched. Oh, if you can see here, it's kind of exposed wire. So that's where it usually occurs. And what we do is expand this hole here to prevent any further pinching. Just create a larger hole. And there's 4 Phillips screws here, same ones as the speaker. Now the panels here, kind of find the edge that is longer. That's where I usually work on first. So you just pop this up, sort of lift it out of its gutter there, and use one of these pry tools to kind of unclip it in a way. There we go. And with this one as well, we kind of expand this area here for the wire, since that's the pinch point. Now the wire here, just pull on it and lift, and it just comes out. And then the screws for the hinges are behind this kind of headband cushion. So there's 2 of them, kind of smaller than the other screws, but not too much. And we just wobble it out. Now it's important to note that there are pins right in there that sometimes do pop out, and if so, just use tweezers to put them back in, but most of the time they stay in place pretty well. And we'll just do the same to the other side now. There are 2 pins located on the speaker, right here and right here, and we try to not break them off as they guide you when you'll be putting the muffs back on. Oh, there we go. That's all it took. I just pulled it off, and the wire's already torn here, right where that pinch point is. That was pretty inconvenient. Alright. Let's solder these points. So as you can see here, that's where it rips usually, right there. And a lot of customers, they would send their headphones in that they've already worked on, and what they do is they take apart the right side, but the wire could be ripped on the left side for this repair, and that might be a little bit frustrating at times. Alright, and so left panels are same as the right. Use one of these pry tools and just work your way up. Just clips in there. Got it. Now this is one of the more lengthy repairs, although it is more of a permanent one for this type of issue. Now the corners of the headband cushion are adhered to the headband, and you just get a flat head here and kind of just break the bond here. And what I usually do is lift up one corner just to give you some leverage here, and you could peel off the rest of the headband cushion just like that. And the wire is all the way out. Now another important thing is to clean up any kind of excess cushion or rubber parts here that are still could be stuck. This gives the headband a nice area to just slide into once we will be installing it again. So now what we did here is grab the wire and laid it out in this kind of way here, that the left side of the wire should be longer than the right. So there's about, let's see here, 2 inches maybe longer. So we will be adhering the wire with super glue, although we do caution to limit yourself, be very conservative with the amount of super glue that you will be using. So just find the middle here and place it right into one of the slits right there. Now what we do here is get some super glue onto the flathead or the pry tool here and put a little bit. It doesn't take much. It's very important to be conservative with this because we do not want the super glue to be coming out the ends and just getting onto the headband cushion. So just weave it through, and it usually just sticks like that. Now the same thing to the other side. Now I'd say the more difficult part is putting it back together rather than taking it apart. That's where most of the time goes into, making it look as if it has not been taken apart. So now once we put the wire in there, let's weave it in there. We also grab some alcohol and a towel and clean up any kind of residue that's been stuck in the headband, the side here. Alright, so now we're ready for the headband cushion, and there's an arrow right here where it indicates the right side of the headband cushion to not, because there is, you can put it wrong, or so all you do is just clip it in as well as push the cushion into the headband. So just like that. Now it's time for the hinges. And just slide it in and pry up where the screw holes are located, and now once we got the hinges in, we will need to also adhere the wire to the hinges using the same exact method that we used for the headband. adhering the wire to the headband. So I just got some super glue right here on the tip of the pry tool and just gently make your way across. Place the wire in there. Now what we also do is this pin here that is responsible for the clicking when you slide down the hinges. We kind of pry it up just to give a more crisp and new feel to it. Just place it in so it's slid down all the way till it can't go anymore. Make sure the wire is extended, and that hole that we just expanded, we weave the wire right through there. And with the outside panel as well. So what we do here is I put in one side first. So you just clip in one side and the other one just clips in pretty easily. And the wire inside, make sure it is going outside around the screw area. You don't want to, and that slides pretty well. Alright, let's do the same exact thing to the other side. Now I do caution to be very conservative with the amount of super glue you use, as it could get on the hinges everywhere, and cleaning it up is kind of a pain in the butt. So just put the glue right in there, and now also pry up that pin there. Ever so slightly to get a nice crisp click. Restarting it. Right now, insert the wire through the hole that we just expanded, making sure that the hinge is extended all the way, and clip one side of the panel in. Gotta move it around a bit. And so one side is in and the other one just clips in like so. Once again, make sure the wire is around the screw area, not through it, so that we do not damage the wire when we are screwing in the mesh. So it's time for the mesh. Now the wire inserts through the smallest hole in the mesh, right there. And there are pins that guide you to it, and it should fall in perfectly. Same thing here on the right side. Alright, now we gotta put in the housings, or whatever you want to call these. So now you just align this housing right like so, and put in this big screw right in the middle. Alright, and we just cover this, put the sticker back in there. This might be one of the more difficult jobs for beginners, is putting in all these mesh points back into place. What we use here is the pry tool, and just put in a corner of each point through the housing. And use the just pliers to bring it up. Be careful not to pull it too much to where it would rip the mesh, but give it a few pull or two for each point. You could use pliers, your fingernails, pliers I find work best. And just run the pry tool around here, securing it all in there. Now let's do the same thing to the left side. Insert the large screw and the sticker that goes on top of it hides the screw. And put all the corners in. Make sure you use the flat side, not the pointed edge, so that you won't puncture the mesh. Alright, use the pliers once more. See, it is kind of now, once in a while you might need to use the pry tool once more, push it up. Alright. So now we are almost complete. Okay, now it's time for the speakers. Now one reason why we left the right wire, shorter than the left is because of where the solder points are located on the speaker. So as you see here, let's solder this back on and go through the now the right speaker does like a quarter of a circle. Just move it to the side, make sure it is not in the way of the screw holes, and it should just fall in without being in the way of any kind of plastic. Now the left side does almost an entire revolution, so as the wire goes around almost the entire circle of the speaker, that is why it should be longer. And let's solder these points right, like so. And make sure you put the wire right in between the screw and the speakers so that you don't damage it while you are screwing it into the housing here. And it should just fall in right into the housing. If it is not, then the wire is in the way of something. Now for the last part of this repair, we need to put on the muffs. Now remember, we took off the old sticker. We used these right here. We sell these as well. You can find the link in our description of the video for the stickers. And one thing you do is peel the back side off, the yellow part. There are pre-made holes here, so you just guide them. So first, second one, just guide it to line it up. Grab a razor or something, this works best, to just cut it, lift it, and then you will be able to peel it off, like so. And now these pins here should be inserted into the holes in the muff there. So that's first and second. Put a little pressure to it, and they're pretty secure. I mean, you can tug on it, it won't come off. With a significant, you need a significant amount of force to pull them off. There we go. that is the entire Solo 2 wired internal wire repair. If you would like, we can send you the internal wire, the stickers we just used. We also repair them as well, these headphones. So send it in to our repair center, we repair them, ship it back to you. Thank you for watching.